them the playback then at their convenience. So, all right. So my name's Karen Meseral, and I am so excited to have you guys with us. Thank you for joining us to check out this jump start for our 2019. I can't believe it's already almost here, 2019. And at the beginning of January, you know, many of us hit the gym with the best of intentions, and then we fall away from it. And I've come to realize over time that exercise isn't all that matters with health. And really tonight is an opportunity to set you up for success for the whole year. You know, we're looking at 2019, we maybe want a newer or healthier start that we can continue throughout the entire year. And each of us that are sharing tonight can definitely tell you that this is undeniably a program that you can do throughout the whole year. And actually, we've joined together with friends for the last 2 years, and we've been having fun and seeing results together. And this is a 4-month jumpstart to a healthier you. So we take the first 10 days of the beginning of each month. We start the first Monday of each month and really focus on those 10 days. And we do that each month for each of those 4 months. And we're adding in healthy habits, but we're also shredding out unhealthy habits that's not serving your body. So my friends and I were going to jump in here and tell you first what we're going to add to our lifestyle, especially during these 10 days. And there's really 4 different components that we're going to add. So the first thing we want to talk to you about is water. So Regina, if you can unmute, and if you would like to explain to us how you make sure you get in enough water.
Yeah, so I'd love to share that. So one of my first tips, I have 3 tips I'll give for you tonight, is setting a glass of water by my bedstand. And if I'm sleeping like 7 hours, my body's dehydrated, I want to do that first thing. So the first thing in the morning, and it just helps me wake up in the morning and get my day going. Another trick is you can take your water bottle and put either hair ties, rubber bands around it. So say you need to drink 5 of these a day, put those around it, and then just take one off when you've drank that, and so you can keep track of it. And then always, keep it on you. Like right now, we're busy shopping and that, so I always keep a bottle of water on me. So drinking about half your body weight in ounces. We really want to flush toxins out and cleanse our body. And so as long as your urine is clear, then we're good. So easy rule of thumb.
Awesome. Thank you, Regina. I appreciate those tips for getting in our water. Secondly, getting enough sleep is necessary. So Jeanette, if you would share with us how you get the sleep that you need.
All right. Yes, I am the sleep expert. I've never had any problem sleeping. But as adults, we really need to get 7 to 9 hours. And I know sometimes that's really hard, especially, with our busy schedules. And if we have kids, a lot of times we think that's when we need to get a lot of things done, right? But the problem with that is if we lack sleep, then it can cause depression, it can cause fatigue, weight gain. I know that I feel hungrier if I'm more tired. It can impair our memory. We can, have low energy, so we don't feel like working out, or we don't get as good a workout as we could. But if we make sure that we get that sleep, a lot of times it's a ritual, right? It's a bedtime ritual will help, making sure we set a time and then we stick with it. And so we get that sleep in there. Okay, so one of the things you'll notice too, as you see the guidelines, or maybe you've already seen the guidelines with the Shred 10, is that one of them is we want to eat by 6 o'clock in the evening. Now you'll see that, and a lot of times people are like, what? Like, I don't even get home before 6 o'clock, or I can't get home, have dinner. So just know that it's not a hard and fast rule. The deal is we just want to make sure that we get 3 to 4 hours after we eat. We want to have that 3 to 4 hours before we go to bed. And the reason for that is because your body will digest. We want everything to completely digest before you go horizontal, okay? And it's going to help you sleep better. And not only sleep better, but it'll also help your body recover overnight, right? Because if it's digesting overnight because you just ate, then it can't do the recovery that it needs to do overnight. So that'll help you with your sleep as well. So don't get scared about that 6 o'clock. It's 3 to 4 hours. And honestly, if you do it for 3 days in a row, you lose those cravings to eat later on in the evening as well.
Thank you, Jeanette. Yeah, not eating 3 hours before bedtime was such a game changer for me in waking up feeling so much more rested and energized. Next, Kim is going to tell us how she gets exercise in most days.
Hey, everybody. So I teach already 2 yoga classes a day, well, three during the week. So that really helps and helps me be accountable. So helping you be accountable, maybe getting a workout partner or a walking partner or a running partner, whatever you're into. Something that helps me be accountable is my little Fitbit. Where is it here? Well, it's actually a Garmin Vivo Sport, but just to get 10,000 steps in. And I really notice if I do, I actually, you know, it's like, it's what, oh my gosh, that word. Anyway, you know, a body in motion stays in motion. Like I have so much more energy if I am like active or if I get a good workout in the morning. So that's huge. If whoever invited you tonight, if you have more questions, they will give you, it's actually pretty easy, but the Healthy Living Revolution, we have videos on there. So that's huge. If you just need a 15, 20 minute, 12 minute, 10-minute video, whatever you're into that day. Pilates, yoga, a little high intensity training. That's super easy. For me, walking the dogs, just parking further away. And a lot of times I'll Google something that I'm like into, or if I want to work out, like a Pilates workout, and then hit images, and then it usually gives you a little workout. So those are just some things. But I think the number one thing that I could tell you is just to move. And the best exercise is the one that you'll do.
That's exactly right. And then finally, we want to make sure that we add more real food. And so, Sherry, please tell us how you do that.
Yeah. So, are you going to put the slide?
Are you ready for it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
So, yeah. So whenever I first started trying to get healthy, was a long time ago because I've had a lot of health challenges. And what I found was actually getting all of these plants in my body every day was like the magic bullet that really helped me start craving better foods. I don't know about you, but I wanted to eat more fruits and vegetables, but they just didn't taste good to me. Like I struggled so much with like knowing that I needed to get so many servings a day as a nurse, but yet I couldn't. And so what I found was after I started consuming all of these plants, I started craving more fruits and vegetables, and they became satisfying to me, and they tasted better. And so one of the reasons why we flood our body with all these fruits and vegetables is because it really helps our liver detoxify. So if you haven't heard before, we have Juice Plus capsules and shakes, and in the capsules is 30 different vine-ripened fruits and veggies that are juiced down and dried at low temperatures. And then in our plant-based shake, it has some amazing low glycemic index with protein and fiber, and it just helps sustain your blood sugars. So we add more real food in the shred because it just it cleanses our bodies, it detoxifies. So do you want to show the next one? And it's so important that our body actually detoxifies. If you've ever, been on a diet and lost weight, and then you turned around and put the weight back on, it's because of the toxins in our bodies. So we're just flooded. Our environment is just flooded with toxins in the environment. It's not any sort of unknown fact. And so our body takes those toxins and puts it into fat cells to protect our organs. And so the top part shows, this top slide shows all the little dots are all the toxins. And then as we burn fat, those toxins, without detoxifying, those toxins stay in. And so then we just end up putting the weight back on to protect ourselves. But the bottom shows that when we actually cleanse, it shows how we flush those toxins out of our system, and it's easier to maintain a healthier weight. So I know this, made a lot of sense to me, because I've had a lot of problems with toxins and things like that over the years, and it just made my body so sick. So a lot of people find that this is one way that they're really helping them keep that weight off, if that's what they're looking for. So I'll turn it back to you, Karen.
Yes. Yeah. This makes so much sense to me because I used to be a rebound dieter all the time. And when I saw this graphic, it made a lot of sense to me. So now we've talked about some great things we're going to add to our lifestyle. It's time to spend a little bit of time talking about what we need to eliminate also. So the first thing we're going to talk about, Sherry, if you'll go ahead and fill us in on why we're going to eliminate gluten and dairy for these 10 days.
Yeah, so gluten and dairy have actually got a really bad rap more recently because of the chemicals and pesticides involved in farming and overprocessing, and they actually been found to increase inflammation in our bodies. Some people, it affects them more severely than others, and inflammation is obviously the precursor to so many different diseases. And so in the past year, I've heard so many people, so many of my friends sharing with me, man, when I got off dairy, I could breathe easier, like my asthmatic or our friends with allergies, I could breathe so much easier. Or when they got off gluten, they'd be like, oh my gosh, I just have always had this chronic gut ache and I didn't know why. And then when they stopped the gluten, they found that that's one of the triggers for them. And so we come off of gluten and dairy for 10 days because it just helps our body with one less thing that has to figure out how to process. And coming off of it for 10 days certainly cannot hurt you.
That's right. You can do anything for 10 days. Kim, would you let us know why we eliminate caffeine and alcohol for these 10 days?
Absolutely. So through this process, you'll be hearing a lot about detoxing, and our liver is so responsible for so much of that. It's such an important organ. And when we drink alcohol and caffeine, they do the opposite things in our body. Like we might want to have caffeine in the morning and then have alcohol at night. But the reality of it is that in the body, our liver has to take up the slack and process all that. Our caffeine consumption in the morning can just kind of, maybe long term, like burn out your adrenals, but it does affect your adrenal glands because it releases, what's that word? Oh my gosh, see, I had caffeine today, that's the problem. It releases that,
adrenaline.
Oh I just had it, thank you, it releases adrenaline. So, it's kind of like this, you're faking out your body. Some things we've learned, so maybe a couple of days, if you're used to having caffeine, those first couple of days may be a little difficult. You might want to wean off it before the shred, or just get a cup of hot water, which is actually what I'm drinking right now because my house is kind of chilly. And sometimes it's just like the warm mug thing. We've got some products, not we, but you can find some products that taste similar to coffee, if that's something that you really want in the morning. And as far as alcohol, a lot of people use it in the evening for relaxation. So once again, a really nice warm mug of something, or just putting something in a fancy glass. We have mocktails too, where we mix them just like fancy fruit juice with some seltzer, and it's just a way of, like, it's maybe more the just the process of it, and just sitting down with a nice glass and just kind of relaxing, or just do a little stretching or some yoga or something. And once again, it's just 10 days. We can do anything for 10 days.
And it's amazing to see how our body feels at the end of that too. And then we also want to eliminate processed food and artificial and refined sugars. And Regina, if you'd share with us why we do that, and also how the complete shake plays a role in eliminating those.
Yes, I'd love to. So, okay, when we eat food from a box, like processed food, bread, crackers, box food, that's really going to, and sugary foods, that's going to give us that high spike in our blood sugar. So kind of like on this picture, you can see that the high glycemic foods is, so when we do that, our sugar, we get a sugar rush, and then our blood sugar comes crashing down. And 2 hours later, we either need a nap or we really feel like raiding the refrigerator. So, or both at the same time. And a lot of times, we think that we need coffee in the morning. It's because we're having that blood sugar. We need something nice and stable to, for our blood sugar. And you see the second line is the low glycemic food. So Karen was talking about our shake. It's very low glycemic. So it's going to enter the blood sugar slowly and give you that sustained energy. And that's what it says, the zone of willpower. So willpower, you hear people say, I just have no willpower, was probably because of what they put in their body, and they're having that crash is what's happening. So when we've had that, when we're eating in the zone of willpower, like our complete shakes, it stays nice and stable. So like I like to have my second shake at 3 o'clock, and it's just a great sweet spot that I found, and it sets me up for my whole evening. And then I can have a nice little dinner with my family and then stop eating at that 6 o'clock time or the 3 hours before bed. And I'm completely satisfied because my blood sugar has stayed stable all day long. So really a big fan of our complete.
Yes, me too. It makes a huge difference. And I was amazed at how my sugar cravings just diminished a lot by having the shake. And now we're going to have Jeanette tell us her Shred 10 story. You guys are going to love hearing this.
All right. Thank you. Thank you all for sharing all of these things about all these different tips, because every one of them makes a big difference. And so just re-listening to all these made me remember, everything that's happened to me. I actually started taking Juice Plus, the capsules and the complete, about 13 years ago. And, everything was, it was going good. And then about when I was 37, I had my third child. And then I got into my 40s, and some of you may know what happens at that time. Sometimes the metabolism slows down a little bit, hormone things started happening. And I really honestly felt like I was working out most days, almost every day. And I was eating really clean, but for some reason, I was just starting to get a little bit of extra around the middle and feeling a little frumpy. And, I just wasn't happy with the way I looked, or even, just felt a little bit. And I really was trying, and I don't know if you guys have ever been in that place, but when you're in that place where you feel like you're doing it and just nothing's working. And then the Shred 10 came along, and I cannot tell you how grateful I am, because honestly, I still am grateful. Some days I just get up and go, gosh darn, I'm just, I went too long going, okay, what am I doing wrong here? So, and as we just talked about, Regina was just talking about the willpower, that blood sugar. And when I added that second shake a day, that was the game changer for me, honestly, because what would happen previous to that is I'd have my shake in the morning, I'd have a healthy meal, exercising in between that. For my lunch, I have some kind of sweet, because I have a sweet tooth. So at lunch, I'd have something that used the complete for my sweet. So like an energy bite or something like that was very healthy. And then my kids would come home about 4 o'clock, and I'd have a little snack with them, of course, healthy, right? And then pretty soon after that, I'd start making dinner. So I'd eat while I was making dinner, and then I'd have a little dinner with them, and then I'd need a sweet tooth. And it was kind of on and on like that. So everything was healthy that I was eating. But when I started adding that complete shake, that stabilized my blood sugar and it changed my portions. So that 10 days that I had the shake 2 times a day made a huge difference after, so the 11th, 12th day of the month, where my portion control was. And so now, even when I don't, like, a lot of times I'll still add a second shake because I just love it and I love how I feel afterwards. But if I don't, I know when to say no, like I'm done, and what has happened is my clothes fit so much better. I used to hate to weigh myself, even at the beginning of the shred, because I would be like, I'm feeling better. Why isn't the scale going down? So I just kind of stopped. But after doing it for a few years, I am actually the weight that it says on my driver's license. I'm so excited, that I don't know about you guys, but I always I never moved it, right? When I was moving, I kept it where it was at. So that's super exciting, but not that the number honestly really matters. It's honestly the way I feel and that I know I'm healthier, right? It's not just about, the weight, it's about how our health is. So that's why I love to tell everybody about it.
Awesome. Yeah, I've loved watching your transformation through the Shred 10. And I want to go through the guidelines here and put them up on the screen one more time. So you can see what we're adding and eliminating. And we want you to know that the closer that you follow these guidelines, the better you are going to feel and the more results you're going to see and feel. But, we also understand that this is a process. And I know for me, I didn't jump in with both feet right away. I kind of eased in with what I was eliminating. And each shred, I improved and got better and added. Well, I started off adding all the things that you see here, but with each shred, I eliminated more on what's on the list, and it made a huge difference. So if you want to see the most results in the shortest amount of time, definitely following all the guidelines is the way to go. And these amazing whole foods, the complete shake, flooding your body with nutrition from 30 different fruits and veg is a great way to start your year. And I also want to show you here some of the results. And a lot of this is what Jeanette kind of already said, but this is definitely things that I noticed at craving more fruits and vegetables. Definitely improved sleep, way more energy. My skin, when I'm shredding, if I let dairy creep back in, you can tell it in my skin first thing. So that's the great thing about eliminating those things, is then you find out what it is that really is kind of, your trigger for your body. And I also want to let you know that we have amazing support. This community is so fantastic. We've got the text messages and the Facebook page. We've got the cookbook that we send you so that you have healthy eating guidelines, shake recipes, all the free resources on the healthylivingrevolution.com. So be sure you check that out. Just amazing guide to follow that explains the whys and the hows. And really, we want to, give you ideas and offer you tips and support. And all of that is free with doing the Shred 10 program. And our goal is just really to help you be successful. And like I said, each Shred 10 gets better and better, and it gets easier to eliminate the things that don't serve your body and add more of what does. And so we just wanted to be sure and show you what the different packages were on where you could get started. 1 shake a day, that's really the minimum, because like you heard each of us say, that second shake makes a huge difference. But that's the basic package. Of course, we really encourage getting in your fruits, veg, and berries also, because how else are you going to be able to flood your body with all of that nutrition? And like I said, it's not just about eliminating the bad stuff. You also got to put in the good stuff too. And then the Shred 10 package, that's for everybody who really wants to go in and do this jump start, each month for those 4 months, those 10-day focus each month is the Shred 10 package. And so be sure you get with the person who invited you to take a look at this information, and they can answer any questions that you might have. Our Shred 10 does begin Monday, January 7th. On January 1st, we're going to start all of our prep. We're going to, start a whole bunch of posts and ideas, recipes, get everybody all prepped and ready to go for January 7th. And then we'll go through January 16th. So please, like I said, get with the person that invited you so you can get your products, orders. These really are simple solutions for improved health. And we also have a video that, sorry about that. We also have a video that we can send you that's about 20 minutes long that really explains cleansing and why it's important in our body and how that detox process works. It's very interesting. So we just want to thank you for joining us this evening, and we hope that you will join us in our jump start in 2019. So thank you everybody for coming this evening.
Good night.
All right.
Good
Good
night.
night. Thank you.
Stop recording.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.